I think it's almost like reach versus response. I mean, the power that social media plays on reach is incredible. Like, let's face it, like that is absolutely incredible that someone's content can reach someone else on the other part of the world and change their life. But it's the response component. I think we get a lot of this reach, but do we actually respond?
I kind of have a question for you guys, because I can't really speak to this. How does social media affect your daily lives, or at least affect your lives in any capacity?
Well, over the past 10 years or so, I've done mission trips, and just without asking for it, you just make a lot of Facebook friends, and which that's probably one of the last reasons that was keeping me on social media, was to stay in touch with a lot of my friends from overseas. That was the one platform. There's several times I personally want to leave, and I'm still hanging on by a thread. I think there's, aside from being on a few specific groups, that is all that's keeping me on now. Because if you want to call YouTube part of social media, it's weird. I've completely navigated from Facebook now to YouTube, even though it's not really meant to be a communicative tool. But I think now a lot of my time it's replaced my television. Sad to say. Really, I just watch TV for live sports. That's it. Other than that, I don't watch much movies or TV shows. YouTube has kind of replaced my programming in a weird way. So it's weird. I've walked away from one platform that consumed a lot of my time, but now I'm on another platform that is consuming quite a bit as well. So thankfully, I'm not dived into all these different eggs like now. Tom, have you heard of TikTok?
Yes.
Yeah.
TikTok's like the latest craze for the young people, right?
So,
like for teenagers.
Honestly, I don't necessarily understand what the difference between YouTube and TikTok is.
Well, TikTok is like short little videos that people post like in a social media format.
Well, it's short form videos. They're more vertical videos, and there's more of a music component to it. So it's similar but different.
Facebook has kind of gone more of the way of TikTok. There's, slowly introducing more of that videos and a whole bunch of mixed content. But yeah, I would say the one concern for me for social media, I guess I should first speak to daily use. Definitely, I'm pretty active. I'm pretty active every day. Probably consumes a little bit too much of my time. Probably could put it down more. And social media is such a funny thing. Like if you cut yourself off from it. So let's say you take everyone's done probably at some point. They've done like a week-long fast from Facebook, or a week-long fast, or a month-long fast from whatever. And then sometimes you might have a bit of anxiety. It's like, like so much, I'm missing so much stuff. I'm missing so many videos. I'm missing so many status updates. What's going on? But then like you come back like a week or month later, it's like, oh yeah, not a lot changed.
Have you been reading less books?
Yeah, I would say probably reading less books because I'm reading status updates.
I'd like to ask you, Tom, like you're the one that now out of the three of us spends the least amount of time, if not really any time on social media. What kind of effect has that had on your day-to-day life?
Well, okay, so first I guess I have to clarify, is YouTube considered social media or not?
If you reach a certain subscriber mark, you have the ability to do community posts, and that is where it's more of a social media component. You can actually, it's almost like posting a status, you could say, and people can comment on it, like, dislike. So it is in some ways kind of a social media platform, obviously still mainly video publishing.
More content site than, at least at the moment.
Yeah, but there's
Still
definitely
content.
a community component, because any video you publish, everyone has the freedom to comment on it, no different than commenting on a status. So it is, I would consider it an element of social media in that realm.
Okay, well in that case, I guess I have to clarify then, I am a consumer of YouTube. I don't think I've commented on even 5 videos. And until recently, I wasn't subscribed to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as a community aspect, I don't really see that as something in YouTube, at least not for me. But see, and YouTube is also a different thing, like, because you could say that the effect that you have with Facebook and all these other things, it depends on how you use them. Like Nathan said, if people want to talk to me, guess what? You have to email me, text me, or phone me, because otherwise I ain't talking to you.
So like Nathan was saying how he's read less books because of his time on social media. Have you been able to read more books because you're not spending too much time on it, on social media?
Social media was never something that really affected how many books I read. The way that I consume YouTube and Facebook, it's similar, because the way I consume it does not necessarily take up any of my personal time, or at least the amount of time I specifically give myself to spend on things like reading books or anything like that doesn't necessarily get affected by it. It was always like an entertainment portion. So it was just like, yeah, I have this much time slated for entertainment, but it was either like that was specifically for visual entertainment, if that makes any sense. So it was like, okay, well, no, like the amount of social media I was ingesting affected how much TV I was watching, not necessarily how many books I was reading. But I think like going through that, like kind of getting back to what is social media a good thing for faith or a bad thing for faith? Is social media having a positive impact on your faith journey, or is it having a negative impact on your faith journey? And I don't see very often that it would be having a positive impact on the faith journey. Now, saying that, the three of us seem to have very similar ways of looking at social media, at least in some aspects, because none of us is, I would say, a super user or even close to a super user of social media.
Not a super user, but I would say I'm pretty warm. I'm on all that stuff, and it's I'll disagree with you a little bit. I mean, I think I gave a good example about the positive reach it can have, right? Like with the One Church movement, like seeing people from all over the place, even posting prayer requests. They're posting prayer for their family. They're letting us know about different causes around the city. A church that you probably never would have heard of or never even would have gone into is hosting or doing something and looking for resources or help. I think that part of things is really cool.
And I don't necessarily disagree with you there, but that is... So the way I look at it is social media has different layers.
That's why I got to get Facebook again. So you can keep up on all these trends,
Well, but there's... because the way that I look at it is there's social media that is on the personal level, and then there's social media that is on, I don't know how to describe it other than like a business level.
No, that's where LinkedIn would come in. You ever heard of LinkedIn?
Yeah, I actually have a LinkedIn account.
Okay, all right. So he's not totally hopeless.
So how do you add someone?
I don't know.
How to do it?
I haven't been on my
it?
LinkedIn account for a long time. I typically have it to make sure that I don't miss anything for work.
No, LinkedIn is pretty. Yeah, you're right. LinkedIn is the business end of things, and more like where organizations go to post more formal stuff about what they're doing.
Yeah, and so
good to hear you at least have one account.
Well, the only reason I know what's going on with my LinkedIn account is because I keep on getting emails about it. But other than that, I wouldn't necessarily know what was going on. There are maybe organizational level is something that's better said for Facebook, because it's where things like organizations or businesses, like something that is beyond the personal, like because you can have personal and you can have kind of like, certain groups that are like your family and stuff like that, and the group chat, like that to me is an extension of the personal, but you could kind of make it your own level. But then you start getting into the bigger area where you start influencing things, and that's where things like businesses want to get involved in and stuff like that. And so,
or even like an individual business, because if you got a Facebook profile, you can create your own page.
Yeah, you can create a business page.
Yeah, you can create your own business page, or even just your own. You can create your own page for whatever the heck it is you want to champion or cause, right? And it operates out of the same account, like out of your Facebook account. You'll see if you have your own page you administer, you'll see it right there.
I think it's almost like reach versus response. I mean, the power that social media plays on reach is incredible. Like let's face it, like that is absolutely incredible that someone's content can reach someone else on the other part of the world and change their life. But it's the response component. I think we get a lot of this reach, but do we actually respond, or do we just, oh, that was a cute little thing I learned? Or it's almost like we consume too much rather than creating.
Well, yeah, and it's absolute information overload. Depending on what your uses are for social media, you have to narrow in on, because people use social media for so many different reasons, whether it's for business or personal or whatever political cause. In our case, maybe it's a faith-based cause, like whatever. If you're going to be a good user of social media, you have to drill down into 2 or 3 things that you're going to focus on, and then you have to leave it there, because there's simply too much out there. You know, you have billions of people post. Like, it's just nonstop.